A big us to everyone. Thanks for everyone's support. We're back on with the Kyokushin Shuffle. Appreciate everyone's messages in just what was happening in 2023 with the Kyokushin Shuffle. Look forward to this episode and wanted to thank everyone first and foremost as we build up our subscription and we build up our, fan base towards this. So thank you so much to all in welcoming us back for 2023. Excited to talk about this episode. So here we go. So this segment, part of the podcast, is called The Strongest Karate. And why not kick it off by making sure we all are quite across why we are recognized / in Kyokushin as the strongest karate. So it is a conversation. This isn't to instigate any debate. This isn't to instigate a difference between other styles or arts. It's just the term, the strongest karate, has been used in Kyokushin for a long time, basing it that Kyokushin originated in 1964 under Sensei Masayama. So for those that are listening in the Kyokushin hat, with the Kyokushin hat on, you hear where I'm coming from. And those that are not from Kyokushin, well, this is an integral part of why I'm positioning this conversation and this segment of the strongest karate, because I feel that we need to be talking more about it. We as in the community of Kyokushin. And I think a lot of us do, and us meaning from white belt all the way to, our highest ranks currently here in Australia, 9th Dans, Hanshi John Taylor and Hanshi Eddie Emin, and if you were to do a timeline of those legends who are 9th Dans now under Kyokushin, so that's in excess of 60 odd years, and Hanshi Eddie's, 90, I'm under his lineage, under Shihan Billy, what would they say? What would Hanshi Eddie say about the strongest karate? That's the side of what I'm trying to grasp, because we need to continue to keep that flame alive, and we need to continue to make sure that we're upholding it. And, what does that mean? What does that mean currently? Where are we now? And please put your comments in adding, if you are a sensei, a teacher, a dojo operator, a student of Kyokushin, how do you see it as the strongest karate? What part, and I'm going to use the word like pillars, where does it sit? And if we're talking pillars, we're talking things that I've written here. If you were to type in the strongest karate, it comes up obviously online or in magazines as Kyokushin Karate. So the key words that were coming out, the pillars that sit here and in building this conversation, is power. Power karate is also known for Kyokushin. The full contact side. The brutality is a tough one as well. The fast, crisp snappiness of techniques. The powerful elements, the realistic side of powerful. The usefulness of it. The rigorous training and conditioning. And the physical conditioning and mental toughness. So these are key words that are building the base and these pillars of the strongest karate. And there might be more, and there might be many more. And this is another part of what I wanted in 2023 is have your say, have your input, put it in the comments. It's vital for all of us that are following this and listening to learn more, to understand different conversations that are happening in dojos, because in certain dojos, we have, we as in my dojo, we have a saying that is starting to facilitate all types of students, right? So are you the student, like I said in one of my workshops, are you the student that started Kyokushin or that is thinking of starting Kyokushin because it's the strongest? Because it's the strongest? Or are you starting it, or are you doing it still because you want to become a full contact karate fighter, knockdown fighter, which has rules, which has, specifics and so forth? And then are you doing it for self-defense? The usefulness of, and what is self-defense? So are you doing it have you encountered something untoward, or have you been bullied, or is it something that you feel is going to support you in some way if something was to occur? God forbid, as I say to all my students. And then lastly, and not the most last point, but lastly, the point that I bring into the conversation is, are you just doing it for health and fitness and learning something new and expanding and getting growth in some other means and using this platform of Kyokushin? Because it's not just about power, damage, full contact, brutal, fast power. It's not just that. There's some of the key pillars that are used, I feel, in explaining it being the strongest karate, but the mental toughness was the other one. And the spirituality of it. That is another key factor of difference in the training element and why it is the strongest karate. So there's so many cool things, as you can see, and the reason why this episode was to just put forward the definition starting point of the strongest karate, because I'm gonna build it up. It is like a vlog and like the ebook that I've put together, where I want to be able to use some topical conversations, but to continue to make everyone aware that it is the strongest karate, and what we're doing for that. We as in, when I say that, I've got to be careful. We as in the generation now. So, those key pillars, you can start breaking down, right? And breaking down the power karate is one of the most important ones, I feel, as to how it has defined Kyokushin and that strongest karate component of power. And where does that come from? It doesn't come from, within that first week of a new student attending. So it takes time, takes a lot of lessons, a lot of classes, a lot of training, a lot of instilling of understanding how power comes from within. And then from within, it then comes out, right? So within, the discipline side, the consistency side, and then all the techniques and fundamentals of Kihon, which is the very base of and start of your journey. And even for all of us that are, black belts and above, what do all our teachers, our masters say to us? Keep your basics, keep working on your basics, because it just sharpens. It continues to sharpen you up. It continues to generate and build and progress that power. But that's in that conversation. Then we get to the fighting conversation, where the ones that aren't doing Kyokushin, the family, the friends, the members that might come and see you compete, or see a grading, or see you kick a bag, or kick the kick shield or the long bag, and over years you've started to, and you'll see the kick of Kyokushin has that element of power behind it. The punching has that key element of power. The training has to be powerful, because without it, that realistic conversation, that realistic pillar now starts to be questioned, and the usefulness. So power has so much to explain why it's the strongest karate. The damage is just, where does that fit? And because I wanted to bring that up quickly, because running dojos for over 12 years now, the damage part is when you talk to family, friends, and so on, and even the students that have just started, there is a concern of damage. There is a concern of injury. There is a concern of, shit, you guys are the strongest because of the way I watched something, and I was sparring that belt over there, and they punch hard and they hit hard and they weigh more. And so this damage, but there is two sides of damage, right? There is the damage of receiving, but then there is the damage of giving. And just to share with the students again that I'm trying to talk to encourage to go to other dojos, to start Kyokushin, that is the key to it. At the end of the day, if you're listening and you're starting to go, well, I'm not too sure about this, you've got to go to a school. You've got to attend the dojo. You've got to ask questions, have a trial class, have a look and feel. And the best example that I put to new students that trial with us is, we've all been there, no matter what age. I started at 20. There are other fathers and mothers of our teen students training with us who are in their mid to late 40s. Now, they're on a different journey. They're on a different path. So you've got to explain that and not be too concerned about the damage just yet. There's no chance in hell that you're going to start and someone just thigh kicks you and then you're out for 3 to 6 weeks. It's just, I'm laughing because it's just, if a dojo is conducting themselves like that, or a teacher, send me a message and we'll make sure that is not allowed and not called for, because we have to encourage, we have to support, and we need to continue this conversation, or else, we shy away some interested students, whether they're kids, teens, or adults away. So, that falls in there as well. Brutal, fast, crisp, sharp, physical. These are other key components, pillars that you grow, you mature with, you start to identify more and more the more you train, and your teachers will most definitely show how these key elements, key parts of the strongest karate enter into your training, enter into your day-to-day. And day-to-day then becomes something that also is that part of mental toughness. The mental toughness side, if I was, and what do you guys and girls think out there when you hear the mental toughness of Kyokushin Karate? Where's the mental toughness slide? For me, I love the mental toughness of sitting in Seizan, or the mental toughness of the floorboard push-ups or the wood push-ups. And the mental toughness there, you might go, well, what do you mean? Yeah, that's physical. No, not maybe in my journey now. Maybe it is at the start of your journey, but now, meaning 20 odd years in, I love the mental toughness side. It's, as I say to my students with the wood push-ups, and jump on my links on the YouTube channel here for the wood push-ups as a progression. Have a look at the beginner, intermediate, advanced. You don't just jump into wood push-ups. You've got to condition your knuckles. You've got to start working that physical again, but then the mental side of holding the push-up on the wood is one. Staying in Seizan, when Hanshi Eddie Emin would talk to us at a seminar or in a class, and he would have us in Seizan, there were moments where obviously, we can all talk underwater, but Hanshi Eddie talks, you listen and you respect that. And he could talk for 20 to 30 minutes. There's probably people out here laughing, going, yeah, he could talk for longer. And you would be in Seizan, in that stance. And geez, wasn't that tough? And tough meaning mental. Everyone would physically start to tweak and turn, but that mental toughness as well. And mental toughness of enduring an hour of training. Again, it sounds physical, but there are more components to the physical. There is the terminology, the techniques, the breakdowns of it. So these are some key words I'm releasing out, because we can talk about that in my dojo, but what are some of the words that and pillars and elements and descriptions that you out there are feeling when you think of the strongest karate? And then when we get to explaining or someone saying to you, and now I'm talking to the students out there, what's the first thing when someone says to you, oh, what style of karate do you do? And then I say Kyokushin Karate. It's the strongest karate. It's something that just organically comes out because I believe in it, obviously, and I'm biased with it. But then there is why am I saying that straight away? Why is that the selling point, or why is that the slogan? What is that? What does that mean? And that's individual, I feel, there, and that's what's kept it going, and that's what's going to be cool in seeing and reading and listening to more people sharing their thoughts on it. But the strongest karate is very important in keeping that alive. And the episodes that I'm going to put forward are going to be based on different components of it. Next one will be the 100-man Kumite and the 50-man Kumite that's done as a mini marathon, I call it, and just explaining the process of what the Strongest Karate has driven those that have done the 100, and talking about the elements and their side of it, and sharing more on that note as to why some people do it, and why some people are invited. Most of 99.9% are invited and encouraged by their peers or their masters to do it. So there is some fun things to share down the path. But let's continue to define the Strongest Karate, because we get to training now, and we get to the training part of, well, I want to do the Strongest Karate, Pat. So does it take 10 training sessions? We're all probably smiling there. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of consistency. It takes a lot of work, hard work. And that's now going to be one of the topics that I want to bring up. How are we, being a product of the product? Being a product of the product in the Strongest Karate, does that mean all of us have to be the strongest? Does that mean all of us need to be walking around with, black belts and world tournaments? And no. That's why we love the word spirit. And the word spirit can only come from a lot of students that start Kyokushin and martial arts have some form of spirit. Now the challenge and the hard work starts to separate that from others. And with Kyokushin, trainings used to go for 2 hours when I started, and I'm sure those older than me will obviously be like 3 hours. But I hate to say it, times have changed, meaning there are a mixture of full-time Kyokushin dojos, and let me know who they are if you're doing 2-hour classes around the world. But mine is in that we have a mixture of 1.5 hours now, and maybe 1 hour 15 on certain evenings. My classes are on a Wednesday night. I do a 6 till 7, which is a combination of all things Budo Karate Kyokushin. So not just punching and kicking, it's grabbing, gripping, grappling, takedowns. But that's through to the experience of what I'm fortunate of. And then from 7 till 8 is a cardio conditioning fight, full contact fight / tournament preparation and grading preparation. So I try to cater for out of the 12 to 15 students on a Wednesday night in my adults class, 2 or 3 are full contact fighters. 2 or 3 are full contact fighters. The rest are not. The rest may have been and are injured or no longer, or just wanting to train hard, wanting to work on, the Strongest Karate and building up, their preparation for their next grade, for example. So, that part of training, how does it come about? Where does it come about? Is it something, as I say, you can't buy it at Rebel, you can't buy it at Coles. It's something that comes from, your teachers, your masters, your future teachers, instilling it via their teachers as well and passing it down. And some have, I call it a certain standard. And what is the standard? You can come into my dojo, and then train with me and think that was hard and tough. And you could go to another and go, no, that was harder. So is mine softer? So another conversation to understand what we're trying to aim here and instill. There is always a bloody tough balance, in running your classes, because again, back to those 4 things. Are you doing it because it's Strongest Karate? Are you doing it for full contact fighting? The full contact fighters, start to question the Kihon and the kata component and the different parts of learning in Kyokushin. Fighting is 1/10, I call it 1/10 of our syllabus, our reference towards our agenda in our dojo. Fighting and Kumite is 1/10, but it's what's defined the strongest karate, has it not? Prove me wrong. Tell me out there, is that the part that we all love to share and put out there, the knockouts, the kicks, the punches, and all the above? But I know for a fact the executive level people that have jobs that they don't want to attend with broken bones and the credibility of winning a title and all that might not be on their agenda, but they're still training as hard. They're still putting in 110%. They're still trying to achieve the best they can achieve. And to me, that's also what the strongest karate does define as well. Someone that has come in to a dojo and worked their butts off for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years to try and attain that black belt. And in that black belt, you have covered the basics of Kyokushin. You've covered the basics of Kyokushin. The push-ups, the sit-ups, the squats, the 3 times a week training, the supporting the dojo, the taking the classes. There are so many cool things that work towards you out there that might be the new student that just goes, hey, I'm keen to do the strongest karate. Well, you're on a journey now. You're on a journey. You're not going to, you don't just, it's not a pill. You don't just take it and then think that it's just going to miraculously appear. But again, we define it. We define, and I look forward to seeing and reading a little bit of the comments here. And I know there's many out there that I want you all to feel comfortable in writing it. But also I feel that every time you, especially in this podcast, I hope we can learn off each other in understanding it. Here's my definition of it. What's your definition of it? Let's be all clear on it. Let's be all clear in understanding different protocols, I use the word elements through the chat now. Elements come from your teacher. The amount of people in your dojo might be not as many as mine, or the quality is maybe a little bit less because there isn't a stretch of fighters, or it might be because there is a different purpose. They have a different purpose. And I think that is one of the other key parts of many out there that I want to encourage more to keep doing the strongest karate, Kyokushin, because you won't know until you have a shot. You don't know. There is a lot of doubt and fear in people these days, and which is fair enough. But if you don't know and you don't have a shot, or you don't have a try, or you don't get yourself into an uncomfortable position, you'll never know. You just won't. And again, this isn't to disrespect any of the other arts / more so karate. When we're talking here of the strongest karate, there are probably other styles that are going to listen to this and go, bullshit. Ours is the strongest from here on, and that's that. Well, this is a healthy, I feel, a healthy part of this conversation, not an argument. Not here to argue. This is just a conversation, and keeping the again, the part of what we're trying to keep the flame alive here on. So, I think we had to define that. I think there's most of us out there that, as they say, we read about it, we see others mentioning it on YouTube maybe, but deep down, how are we in the Kyokushin community, me included, and everyone else that has started, going to continue to keep this term and this really important ethos that the forefathers have left us with, in making sure that we do not lose any ingredient of it continuing to be the strongest karate. There you have it. I think it's just a part that we need to all clear out and express a little bit more. We don't have the magazines anymore that we all grew up with, thanks to the Blitz days here in Australasia. Conversations like this, or topics, were normally on the back of the magazines. I don't have one near me, it's behind me. But they're key things that I think for this week you might want to ask your teacher. You might want to message me. You might want to ask someone that does it. What does it make them feel when they say comfortably, confidently, or not? Are we missing something, or are we still on course, and are we still holding that flame? Appreciate it. Hope that gives us a base now from what we talk about next time. There's going to be it could be, I'm not here to do weekly things and all that. If there's a topic I want to talk about and I have a good chance to do it, I'm going to do it, and away we go. So look out for more conversations along these lines of the strongest karate. And then we'll try once every 3 weeks with Shihan Sean O'Connell in Japan with our Japan Chronicles. We have some really cool topics and some things here that can he will definitely help translate for us in the Western world that don't get the privileges as such that he has in living there for almost 3/4 of his life. We'll get Shihan Sean on soon to just have an introductory conversation on what he can add and how he wants to help as well. Wants to help meaning in clearing the air or explaining it in a bit more detail for us. Again, when I say the Western world, those that are listening that speak English. Thanks, and also to a shout out to Todd Reeves, who's putting together a beautiful, beautiful design shirt that I've commissioned with him. That will be the contribution part of those that listen to the Kyokushin Shuffle. It's a Strongest Karate t-shirt that I want to, make others feel warm and fuzzy and comfortable and supportive of them studying and doing the arts of Kyokushin and keeping that going. But I don't just want it to be this little one-off tee. I want this tee to shine and be that I guess that shirt that you want to wear wherever you go, if that makes sense. And there's no bias and there's no conflictions and there's no organization things that trigger anything untoward. It's simply supporting the podcast here in future of me continuing it on and you wearing something awesome and cool. And I hope that culture of the Strongest Karate continues, whether it be a t-shirt in that manner as well. Appreciate your time. Keep up the good work. Keep training hard. And we will chat next time. Us.